What's up, guys? It's Drac, and this is the Powerball. It's from Primetime Toys. It is part of their new Dart Zone Ballistic Ops line, and that is obviously going to be a competitor to Rival. We've got FPS very similar to Rival performance. In fact, a little bit in excess of it, which is exciting. We will do a full range and crony test of this blaster on the Toy Lab shortly after this video. You'll be able to click on it at that end screen. But these look distinctively like high-impact rounds, and it says that they will work with leading brand. Comes with a hopper. It's spring-powered. I brought out a ton of different darts. Not only am I excited that it will work with Nerf brand balls, but it will also, in theory, then be compatible with cornucopia, which is no longer being made, I think, but most importantly, the headshot ammo. Now, if we flip it over to the back, we can see that there is a tactical grip. This is just a very standard vertical foregrip. Reminds me a lot of like Magpul or what have you. Then we've got a trigger and a trigger lock. Since these are marketed as sporting equipment for ages like 14 and up, as opposed to toys being high performance, high power, just like the Rival line, it makes sense that there is a safety lock on them because all of the Rival blasters have that as well. Not a huge believer in that. I frequently disable it myself, but it's nice that they are keeping up with our expectations. And I missed one lock over here. I thought I got it, but must not have. So we have relinquished the blaster. This grip is relatively comfy. It's at an angle, and then the... Wow. Is there something in here preventing me from priming it? No, that's just a stiff prime. That is heavy. Alright, so we've got to click this down, and whew. So there's definitely not any sort of like air restrictor or dampening technology. I'm a little bummed because I figured that this would be the full stroke length since there was so much prime here. I was hoping for like a really high powered spring chamber here, but it appears that the stroke length is reasonably like about 3.5 inches, not very, very large. So that is what it is, but I don't know, hopefully we can get that power out of it. Again, we are promising up to 110 FPS, so I will fire it with their ammo first, then we'll do a quick cross compatibility. Now, does this down here mean that this hopper is going to be detachable, or is it permanently in place? Looks like that comes back and this just comes out, so that is very exciting. Lets us kind of take a look at the chamber here, and then they're going to insert rounds into here. We're going to fire with Rival rounds first, just because we can easily test the capacity of the hopper after that. So dropping one in, that is how it will feed. Now it's chambered. Don't look down the barrel, but I can see there that there is even a hop-up tab here. Hopefully the hop-up isn't too dramatic, and firing. Wow. So that's a very similar performance to the Nerf Rival Artemis and I haven't told you guys this yet because it is one of the most exciting things about the blaster, but this thing is only going to cost you $18. Do you guys like my BB-8 shoes? They were a gift from the Draculina. I am the world's biggest BB-8 fan, and I was really disappointed that there were no BB-8 shoes on the market. So let's test the capacity here after that fun aside. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we shake it a little bit. Now remember that this only ships with 8 of its rounds, but that's 9, 10, 11, 12. Does this back chamber do anything, or is it, wow, this whole back end here is sealed off. So it appears, and the front end, this is not a super high capacity hopper, but it does come with the blaster. The blaster is inexpensive. Now I do want to warn you that these are not cross compatible with paintball hoppers, as Rival rounds are a higher caliber than paintball rounds most of the time. So I guess that's 12 for your total capacity. Did it drop a round in? It did, so I guess in theory it could be 12 plus 1 if you really wanted to do it that way, but that is a 12 round capacity out of the stock hopper. Comes with 8. Let's fire all of these. I did not check which were genuine and which were knockoffs, but ooh, and we had a failure to feed, so I guess make sure that if you are going to overstuff it, that you do have a way for rounds to chamber. That's upsetting. Okay, maybe that's why it only comes with 8, is because they don't want you to do that. So I think that I've got them feeding now. This rubber flap here is like that pseudo, it's not super duper durable, but it does snap closed, and that is fine. So let's fire. And again, failure to feed. So I guess you want to constantly be agitating that hopper. In paintball, there are actual agitators for hoppers, and in the only Nerf equivalent, the Nemesis has an agitator of its very own that's motor powered. So I guess I've been spoiled by that, or I should just be only loading 8 at a time. So we're definitely getting some serious ranges. I want to say I'm actually shooting further than I do with the Artemis with this guy, but very powerful. Some of those are 80, 90-foot shots. The rounds are actually rolling once they hit the ground past that 100-foot mark. So very impressive performance. I don't want to shoot the Gardenia. The Draculina will be mad. Well, we missed, so she doesn't have to be upset. I will test the performance with these, but I'm not going to fire them for distance just because I don't want to lose them before I do my crony test. Carve these out, and the big question for me is how similar these are to rival rounds, because I have not seen any reload packs for these yet, and so you will possibly be using either knockoff or rival rounds with these. So we've got the Dart Zone logo on them. I really dig that while the rival rounds are, let's make sure we absolutely find a genuine one in here. A difficult task, as the SENC has been supplying headshot ammo from a variety of our players for a while. So the Nerf round and the Dart Zone round are similar in their squishability. This has dimpling a la golf ball that is inconsistent around the seam. This also has a seam, but its dimpling is done with like a triangle / hex pattern that would be very structurally sound in architecture. But this is really neat. It almost looks like the Epcot ball to me, and then it should chamber and fire just as well. I'll load up 3 of these, and we will fire them over here, and they're going to bounce right back at me, I've no doubt. But definitely a ton of thwack, a lot of performance out of this. I'm very, very excited for this to be on shelves. I'm actually super duper excited to take it to End War, where not only will this blaster be demoed by the company that sent it to me, but also I could totally rock this. This is a fine zombie blaster as long as you increase the capacity somehow. One of the best things that the Nemesis has going for it is its 100 rounds of capacity. One of the worst things that the Nemesis has going for it is its $100 price tag. So this is a very inexpensive, relatively durable, reasonably good looking, which is surprising for some of these entry-level blasters, but it's cheaper than anything the rival line has put out. It's ergonomically sound, it's got the safety, it's got a hopper, it's a spring-powered pump action blaster. It does not have slam fire, of course, but it is pretty cool. So I really dig it. I hope that you guys do as well. Much love. Nerf on. Dart Zone sometimes. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Make sure that you check out the full chronograph test of this blaster coming up in the end screen right now, I guess.